We see Ares as he notes that he's stressed, since the scores are tied, and he doesn't like the god's representative for the next round. Zeus admits that he's annoying, but he can't deny his strength, and they see the god Apollo, who's enjoying himself with some girls. Ares can't believe he's relaxing at a time like this, but Apollo calls him his best friend, and invites him to join them in the pool. He tries to hit Apollo, but he misses and falls into the pool, and Apollo wonders what Zeus is doing there, so he notes that the next round of Ragnarok is about to begin. But Apollo didn't know that they were still fighting against the humans, so Zeus tells him about the current record, and mentions the gods that they have already lost. He thinks their deaths must have been magnificent, but Ares wonders why he isn't sad, so he explains that there's no reason to feel sadness since they displayed their beauty by fighting with passion, and he decides to fight in the next round. Hilda and Gaul visit humanity's next representative, and they see Spartan soldiers working out, as Hilda notes that even death can't stop them from training. She greets their king Leonidas, and notes that she wants him to participate in the next round, but he tells her he isn't interested, since he only wanted to fight in the first or last round. But she thinks it's a shame, since she believes that he's the only one who can defeat Apollo, and he suddenly changes his mind because he wants to fight the god that the Oracle of Delphi worshipped. He notes that he'll defeat Apollo for the Spartans, and the Valkyrie Giru appears, as Hilda explains that they'll work together in the next match. But he reveals that he doesn't like working with people he doesn't trust, and tells her he doesn't like her. She notes that the feeling is mutual and attacks him, but it has no effect, and she tells him her abilities will be useful to him, so he decides to make an exception. Heimdall announces that the next round is about to begin, and he introduces Leonidas as humanity's representative, so the Spartans cheer for him as he walks into the arena. Heimdall introduces the god's representative, and a flash of light covers the arena as Apollo makes his entrance. Heimdall begins the match, and Leonidas immediately charges at Apollo, who easily dodges his attacks. He tells Leonidas he's like a savage beast, but he manages to cut Apollo's hair, so his fans start to get worried, and Ares thinks he's underestimating the humans. Leonidas wants to make him pay for everything he's done, but Apollo doesn't know why Leonidas is angry at him, and tells him to kneel before him. Leonidas calls him an arrogant prick, which makes him angry, since Leonidas didn't use beautiful words to describe him, and Leonidas notes that he hates him more than anything in this world. In a flashback, the Persian king Xerxes led his 300,000 men to overthrow the Greek city-states, and we see a Spartan named Haggis, who's guarding the Elder Council. The elders discuss that they shouldn't go to war with the Persians, since it's the Carnea festival, and we learn that Apollo banned military actions during the event. So the elders think he'll punish them if they fight the Persians, but a counselor explains that they need to act as soon as possible, since Sparta is doomed if the Persians cross the peninsula. But the elders don't care, explaining that they can't defy the Oracle of Delphi, and they tell him there's no need to worry, since they can still defend their land after the festival. Haggis thinks the elders are ridiculous, but he doesn't dare to speak against them, since he knows that everyone believes in the Oracle. But Leonidas speaks up, and calls the elders a bunch of idiots, since they're putting everyone's lives on the line for Apollo. They remind him that he can't start a war without their approval, and we learn that during this time in history, the decision to wage war was left solely to the council. They scold him for mocking their patron god, but he smashes Apollo's statue, and tells them he's ready for divine retribution. They think he defied the gods since he's eager for battle, but he explains that he doesn't enjoy going to war, and notes that he just did it because it's time to fight. He tells them he's willing to fight alone if he has to, and he starts walking away, but Haggis suddenly abandons his post, because his spirit is pushing him to follow Leonidas. Leonidas prepares to head to battle alone, but his 300 Spartans follow him, and tell him they're ready to fight by his side. He warns them that they won't make it back alive, but Haggis tells him they're ready to die fighting, and they all march with him as he prepares to fight Xerxes. They see the Persian army, and realize that they're completely outnumbered since the Persians have 300,000 men. But the Spartans aren't afraid of them since they're fighting by Leonidas' side, and they follow him as he fights to the death. Haggis recalls everything that happened, and he notes that they got wiped out, but he never felt more alive in his entire life. He knows that their courage inspired all of Greece to drive back the Persians, so he thinks they lost the battle but won the war.